Let's be real, Prince William isn't playing games anymore. Behind those palace walls, while the cameras catch only polite smiles and stiff waves, there's a storm brewing. And guess who's standing dead center in its path? Prince Harry. The olive branches? Gone. The polite public statements? Over. Those desperate attempts to patch things up behind the scenes? Done and dusted. William has had enough. He's not just reacting anymore. He's planning. And his plan? A monarchy with no room for his younger brother. Brutal, yes, but this goes way deeper than just interviews, book deals, or Netflix contracts. This started the moment Meghan Markle stepped into the royal spotlight. The wedding day bombshell. Remember that fairy tale wedding? The one hyped up as a modern fairy tale breaking old traditions? Everyone was glued to their screens, cheering for Meghan, clapping for Harry, marveling at how fresh, bold, and different it all felt. But buried in the sparkle of that day was a tiny moment that only the sharpest eyes caught. Meghan and Harry walked right past the Queen. No pause, no curtsy, no acknowledgement. Just breezed by as if it were any Hollywood red carpet. Now, in the royal world, gestures aren't just traditions, they're lifelines. Curtsying to the Queen wasn't some optional add-on. It was the backbone of respect, the ultimate bow to the institution. And Meghan skipped it. This wasn't an accident either. There had been rehearsals. Every single beat of that ceremony was choreographed like a blockbuster movie. That pause in front of the Queen, it was scripted. Meghan knew it, Harry knew it. And still, they walked on. Some people brushed it off. Oh, nerves. It was a mistake. She must have been overwhelmed. But insiders say William saw it differently. To him, it was Meghan showing her hand from day one. She wasn't here to play by royal rules. And worse, Harry let it happen. He stood there, smiled, and said nothing. That was William's wake-up call. If Meghan could brush off the Queen in front of the entire world, what else was she willing to ignore behind closed doors? And if Harry wouldn't stop her, then Harry was no longer reliable either. From that moment on, trust was shattered. The domino effect fast forward, and every single move Harry and Meghan made only confirmed what William already feared. Moving to California, check multi-million-dollar deals with Netflix and Spotify, check sitting down for the Oprah interview and spilling every private grievance like it was a soap opera script. Triple check. To William, this wasn't just family drama anymore. This was betrayal. Harry and Meghan weren't just stepping back, they were declaring independence, and that meant they were no longer part of the monarchy's future. William's ruthless plan. Now here we are, today. Any whispers of reconciliation? Dead on arrival. Harry might be trying to rebuild ties, especially with King Charles, but William isn't buying it. No, William's doubling down. Behind the palace doors, word is he's drawing up a long-term plan, a monarchy without Harry. Sources say there's a private gathering being lined up, a secluded estate, no cameras, no press, just King Charles, Queen Camilla, William, and Catherine. And they're not meeting to gossip over tea, they're deciding the monarchy's future. And front and center in those talks, Harry. William's position couldn't be clearer. Clean break, no half measures. Strip the titles, cut the privileges, lock the doors. If you're out for good. And here's the kicker, this isn't just about Harry as a person. To William, Harry is now a package deal. If you take him back, you also take Meghan, the kids, and everything that comes with their California lifestyle. That's not family reunion. That's a security risk, a PR nightmare, and an emotional minefield. Meghan, the real threat? Let's not sugarcoat it. William doesn't see Meghan as a victim. He sees her as someone who refused royal tradition, then weaponized her story for profit. Remember the Oprah bombshell, the Netflix digs, Harry's book, Spare? To William, that wasn't just venting, that was Meghan and Harry cashing in at the monarchy's expense. Even before all that, Meghan had already sent shockwaves through the palace. Example? Her wedding dress. The Queen never even saw it in advance. That might sound minor, but in royal circles it screamed disrespect. Every royal bride before her showed their gown to the Queen. It wasn't about style, it was about trust. Meghan refused. Another I play by my own rules moment. Stack that with her media deals, her podcast drama, and her insistence on controlling her narrative, and you've got a pattern. A pattern William thinks is toxic for the crown. Catherine's silent worry. But not everyone in the palace is fully aligned. Catherine, Princess of Wales, has always been the quiet peacemaker. Yes, she stands with William, but her heart pulls a little softer. She's reportedly nervous about what a permanent cutoff could mean. Once titles are stripped and doors slammed shut, there's no going back. And Catherine? She worries William may regret that someday. But William? He's done waiting. He's looking at the monarchy like a business. Cut the losses, protect the brand, move forward. Now, let's fast forward to the present. Because this isn't just palace whispers anymore. Things are heating up and the stakes have never been higher. The secret summit at Balmoral word is the royal family is quietly arranging a gathering at Balmoral. Not a family picnic, not a casual reunion. This is strategy. Behind closed doors, King Charles, Queen Camilla, William, and Catherine are set to sit down and lay out the monarchy's future. Harry's name, it's written all over the agenda. William's demands are firm. No halfway relationships, no blurred lines. He wants Harry completely out, and that doesn't just mean less invites. We're talking about stripping titles, removing HRH status, and possibly even distancing Harry's children from any official royal recognition. Cold? Maybe. But in William's mind, necessary. To him, this isn't personal anymore. It's about survival. You don't run a monarchy with half-in, half-out royals jetting across the Atlantic, making Netflix documentaries and dropping family secrets in best-selling books. You either protect the crown or you let it crumble. And William is fighting for clarity. Harry's desperation creeping in. But here's the twist. Harry isn't exactly sitting back quietly. Insiders say he's becoming more and more desperate to reconnect, especially with his father. With the Well Child Awards coming up on September 8th, Harry's reportedly eager to squeeze in some one-on-one time with King Charles while he's in London. But the palace? Their diary is full. Officially, the schedule doesn't allow it. Unofficially, it looks an awful lot like avoidance. After all, every time Harry has a meeting, it somehow finds its way into a Netflix scene, a book chapter, or a podcast soundbite. The royals have learned the hard way. Nothing is safe from becoming content. That's why they're nervous about Harry's visits, not about what he might say face to face, but about what he'll say after. Every glance, every pause, every awkward silence can and has become material for his next public revelation. And let's be honest, the trust is gone. Catherine's heavy heart, and then there's Catherine, caught in the middle. She's watched William harden over the years, and while she admires his strength and his clarity, she can't shake a sense of dread. What if this final break is permanent? What if one day William regrets slamming that door shut? She reportedly fears for the brothers, for the children, for the image of the monarchy itself. After all, once you strip titles and cast out family, you don't just undo it later. Catherine knows this, and it weighs on her heart. But she also knows William is right about one thing. Harry isn't just Harry anymore. He's a wild card. His choices, Meghan, California media deals, come as a package, and that package in William's eyes is a ticking time bomb. The sting of exile. Here's the kicker though, Harry is starting to feel it. For years he thought California life was freedom, the sun, the deals, the independence. But reality? It's hitting him now. His kids don't know their cousins, they don't show up at royal events, they aren't part of the family rhythm, and sources say this realization is stinging harder than anyone expected. Harry's beginning to see the cost of the choices he made. And while he may not admit it publicly, those close to him say he feels the weight of exile now more than ever. King Charles, torn in two, and poor King Charles, he's stuck in the middle. On one side, he knows the monarchy needs protecting. On the other, his instincts pull him toward family unity. He may want to extend a hand to his son, but ultimately, the future of the monarchy doesn't rest with him. It rests with William. And if William insists that Harry must be phased out, Charles may have no choice but to agree. Awkward? Yes. Painful? Absolutely. But in palace politics, the crown comes first, even before blood. The Meghan factor that won't go away. Here's the truth nobody in the palace will say out loud, but everyone knows you don't just accept Harry, you accept Meghan. And Meghan, to William, represents everything the monarchy fears. She didn't just bend the rules, she broke them. And then she broadcast the fractures for the world to see, from the skipped curtsy to the Oprah revelations, from the wedding dress secrecy to the Netflix cash-ins. It's a list William sees as betrayal after betrayal. And as far as he's concerned, if you let Harry back in, you let all of that back in too. A monarchy at a crossroads. So here we are, a family at war, a monarchy on edge, and decisions being made that could shape the crown's future forever. William is fighting for survival. Catherine is quietly pleading for compassion. Charles is torn between duty and fatherhood. And Harry is realizing that freedom came with a cost he might never undo. What comes next? That depends on Balmoral. Because when those doors close and the tea is poured, one truth will hang heavy in the air. This isn't about reconciliation anymore. This is about survival, and William is ready to make the cut. So when you see Harry stepping onto British soil, smiling for cameras, don't be fooled. Behind the curtain, the knives are already out. William has drawn his line in the sand. No half measures, no second chances. Harry may want back in, but William, he's already building a monarchy that moves forward without him. And for the first time, the crown's future might actually depend on leaving one of its own behind.